Hey guys! If you've been here before, you'll know that I love experimenting with new acrylic pouring methods and additives. I'm always on the hunt for new ways to create fluid art. A little over a month ago, I shared 3 pours with you during my first testing of Penetrol as cell activator additive. Today, I'm back with some more testing. So, let's get started. As you can see, I'm using Floetrol as my pouring medium for these test pours. I've said this before, but typically I don't bother weighing out or properly measuring Floetrol. It's a pretty forgiving medium, so I very rarely do anything but eyeball the amount that I'm using. I'm totally okay with the randomness that can come from not measuring things exactly. Some of you may want to try to control the chaos a bit better. I recommend weighing or measuring. Some artists measure down to the amount of paint they use in each time. I just don't have the patience for that in most cases. If you want to take that route, just get a small journal to keep notes in each time you mix. Detailed notes can help you recreate the look you're going for. Remember though, just because you use the same method, same paints, same everything, doesn't mean you will get the exact same results. Fluid paint does kind of have a mind of its own, so just try to go with the flow. For these experiments, I decided on 2 different color palettes to play with. Some blues and greens for the first, and fluorescent and glow-in-the-dark for the second. This way, we're testing out a group of just paint and Floetrol, but also a group that have powdered pigments in them as well. Today I'm using the blues and greens, but we'll get to the fluorescent colors in the next video. I wanted to keep my palette fairly simple. For the first palette, I'm using Liquitex Phthalo Blue, Pebeo Iridescent Blue-Green, Blick Bright Aqua Green, Soho Emerald Green, and Amsterdam Reflex Green. I had originally planned on using 1 drop of the Penetrol for each color. After mixing in the first drop though, I decided that wasn't possibly enough, so I added 1 more for a total of 2 drops in each. I mixed the Penetrol into the paint mixture very thoroughly. In my experience, the harder you mix in your additive, the smaller your cells will end up being. For larger cells, just barely mix in your additive. For smaller cells, beat the crap out of it. I turned off the camera before I got to it, but for the base, I mixed up some Tommy Art Gold Mineral Paint with Floetrol. I wanted a base down on the canvas so the open cup would be able to slide around easier when stretching. As I've previously mentioned, a base is not completely necessary if you have enough paint in your cup to completely cover the canvas. The base will allow the paint to move freely, keeping it from hanging onto the fibers. When the paints hang on to the rough texture, they start flowing over one another, which can cause you to lose patterns and cells. With everything all mixed together and ready to go, I went with a flip cup for this first test. The first batch of paints were mixed to around my regular consistency, thick enough to mound up, then slowly sink back into the cup when lifted. Since I mixed an odd number of colors, I went ahead and poured 2 colors in the cup at the same time, followed by a layer of the iridescent blue-green. I'm using a 5-ounce cup for this 11 by 14 canvas. You can flip your cup over any old way. I like to use a thin piece of plastic to cover the cup during the flip. If you're quick and coordinated, just toss that sucker over onto the canvas. If you're like me and don't have the middle name of Grace, find something that is thin and sturdy to cover the mouth of the cup as you flip. By using a thin cover, you'll be able to get as close to the canvas as possible before sliding it off. If you aren't using a base, you can just put the canvas directly on top of your cup and flip it that way as well. Once your cup is flipped onto the canvas, you're faced with even more options. Here, I leave the paint to mix and flow down for around 30 seconds before I touch the cup again. Try out different lengths of hold time before release to see what you like the best. When it comes time to lift your cup, you can pull it all up at once, slide it around across the canvas, or even release a little bit at a time. Another one of my favorites is to poke a hole in the top of your cup and let it dance around on its own. I chose to slide the cup around after slightly lifting for this one. Recently, a subscriber suggested that I check out JMO Painting's video using Penetrol. I was thoroughly impressed with his results. If I remember correctly, he said that he used 1 drop in each color, though I don't recall him saying what pouring medium he was using for his pour. Since I had promised you guys I would test out the Penetrol more anyways, that inspired me to get to work on some things. In this first run of experiments, I did not get the same intense cell creation he did. I got plenty of beautiful cells, but they did not react nearly as quick as his. I'm not done experimenting yet though, so we'll see. I have 3 other tests in this run of experiments to share with you so far. In the next video, I'll have the fluorescent and glow-in-the-dark colors mixed with a funnel pour. After that, we'll use up the leftover paint from the first 2 pours in a triple cup flip. In the last, I'll be mixing up a new set of colors and testing out much thinner consistencies. Make sure you take a second to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the results. I love the ghosts of cells that the iridescent paint caused. They can only really be seen in certain light. If I'm being honest, the cell action from this pour isn't too different from just plain Floetrol with no additive. They did open up more with heat than the no additive pour would though. I think the colors came together beautifully, but I can't get past laughing at the crocodile. I don't know about you guys, but I see a crocodile coming out of the water in the dry results of this pour. It made me giggle while I was getting the close-up shots. Alright, that's going to be it from me today. I hope you decide to join in with me next time for more experiments. Let me know what you guys think of the results from the first test in the comments below. I'm always up to hear suggestions on what I should try next, so feel free to reach out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!